Okay, so if I can find Photoshop again here. What happened? There we go. I'm going to teach you today how to make dreamy images. As you'll recognize or know in this image, which is actually a completed image for the web, but when I'm photographing on location and I want a dreamy image of water especially, the best thing to do is to use the slow shutter speed. Now this is sunset, and as the sun was setting, I had less and less light, so lower and lower light allowed me to use the slower and slower shutter speed, which allowed me to blur the water. So it's a beautiful thing. Now this is a composited image. I'm not going to get into that right now. That just means it's two images combined instead of just one. So I utilized two images to create this image. But what we're going to talk about right now is how do you make the image more dreamy. There's a couple different ways that you can do this, and this is a finished product, so I'm going to be showing you from this finished product. However, what you do, one way to do it is go up in Photoshop and go to Image, and then you're going to say Duplicate. I'm just going to say Duplicate, and OK. And now what I want to do is I want to apply image, and I'm going to say Apply Image. The reason I duplicated it is I want to keep that original image too. So if that were your original image, you'd keep it. Apply Image. And I'm going to say Screen. Now you can see what happens when it normally says background, but if I say Screen instead of Multiply, what you're going to see is an overexposed image. So you're going to get an overexposure of your previous image. You can see that. So now what I want to do is duplicate that again. So Image, Duplicate. Now you're going to get a duplication of that overexposed image. And the trick is going to be to blur this image and make it dreamy, and then add it and layer it on top of the previous image. So when you combine them, you multiply them, and then takes care of the overexposure. So now I'm going to go back to Image, and on this image I'm going to, I'm not going to do that because we just did it. I'm going to go to Filter, and I'm going to Blur. And what I want to do is a Gaussian blur. So I think you're out of my screen here. So I'm going to show you right here. And around, it can be anywhere from, now because this is a smaller image, I'm not going to be up at 25. It's going to be too blurry, as you can see. But normally on a normal sized image, and again, this is a website image just for quickness, I want to show you this way. But let's just, for instance, take it and we'll just say 4.4 pixels blurred. Okay, so now this is a blurry image, and you're thinking, what am I going to do with that? Well, we're going to copy this, and you just press Control-C on a Mac. Grab it all, select all, and then go Copy. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, and we'll take that out of the picture, and take the first image that you did a screen of, and I'm going to just paste that right on top of here. Okay, so now you've got that blurry image. Now over in your Layers section, which I'll drag over, you see this layer on top of your background image. Now if we multiply this, it gets very dark, of course, you see. And but you've got that dreamy blur on top of it. You don't want that on the opacity as 100%, but you can play with that and take it down a bit. And so you can see, and you can keep checking here compared to there, where you're at. So this might be nice. A lot of times it's a lot less than 33, but play with it until you get it. You're going to want to increase the size of your pixels so you can see it at actual size. Make sure that it's not too blurry, but it's going to give you more of a dreamy effect. And now here you can even see where with this effect too, you recognize and realize you've got that lighter layer on the bottom. So if there's any places here that you want to erase from the top layer down to get a little bit more of that dodging effect, which means some light on, let's say, on these rocks over here, and I did that in this image, as you'll see, some lighter effects right here. So it's you really see the sunset, but you have those nice light effects. So let's see here, we've got this, and I'm wanting it to be darker because we've got that overexposure, so the more you multiply. Now the thing you're doing too is blurring the rocks. Now the rocks is going to be one area that I'm going to take an eraser to, and So take our eraser tool, and I'm giving you a little bit more here than I wanted to, but you select that. I'm at 100% opacity. That's a little bit too much for the rock, as you can see. So we'll undo that. Let's just let's take that at about a 25% opacity. So I'm just going to get a little bit more sharpness into this rock right here, and I'm just going to show you what happens if you put just a little bit of light on top of this rock. So see, you can add some of these effects back in, some of these lighting, dodging and burning effects that you see, which gives you even a little bit more of that. You've got that soft effect, and now you get more of that, the dodge and burn effect too. And you could do that over here if you wanted a little bit more of that smoldery look in the rocks with the cormorants over here, and wherever else that you might want it. You'll just see what happens when you add that effect, how you lighten things up. So you've got that dreamy effect by adding one layer on top of the other. When you're done, you can use your eraser tool and erase into that lighter layer that you see there to get those effects of and you'll see what I did here. Oops, we're at a 68% opacity, and then you can erase down into that lighter effect to get more of that dodging effect. So that's what I did. That's this image, and so be sure to send me some of your images, and I'll be happy to answer your questions about them. Thank you.